this is how the universe works. It's a two-way system. Leverage your allies, find your mentors, nurture relationships, nurture your network, build friendships, nurture your partner, because these allies, this is the cooperative that we're all living in. We're not in single player mode. We're humans. And even the strongest, most powerful person in your mind, they had a team of allies by their side. Welcome to Life is the Game, hosted by yours truly, Alexandra Nicole Stone. Get ready to uncover the secrets to mastering your destiny, becoming the main character in your life, and embracing a life filled with meaning and joy. Ready? Let's play. It's taken me 8 episodes, but I think I finally figured out my lighting with the help of a little YouTube videos. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life is the Game. I'm your host, Alexandra Nicole Stone, and today we're going to be talking about allies. This is something that's extremely relevant in my life right now because I'm going through some big changes and I'm really leaning on the people in my life, the mentors, my friends, my family, my connections, my network to level me up during this time and support me during this time of change. So, what are allies and what do they mean while we play games? Allies are essentially supporting characters that help out the main character, that's you or me, in achieving their mission or goal. This is via usually strategy, assistance with a secret that you don't know about, like a mentor, a combat assistance, or so much more. So these people are pivotal to you helping the main character of a game achieve their mission or achieve a side quest. And without them, the game's kind of lonely. There's definitely lots of examples of allies that we can think about, both in movies, shows, and in games that can kind of help us wrap around this concept. One that comes to mind for some reason is Hercules, the Disney version, for those of you that are wondering. But we have Philoctetes there, right? Phil, the little satyr man, who's helping Hercules kind of go from a zero to a hero. And without the training from Philoctetes, Hercules would still just kind of be a little bit of a loser who, yeah, he has this godlike strength, but he doesn't have an ability to use it. So Phil is a classic sort of textbook coach or mentor. This interesting relationship between Phil and Hercules basically proves that we all need someone to activate us, no matter how smart, strong, or capable we are. It's always more helpful to have a mentor sort of guide us through that process. I've always, or for a long time growing up, or like in the early stage of my career, I always thought that I had to do everything alone. And it took me quite a long time, almost up until recently, or in the last 5 years really, to realize that that is not the case. And I'm not sure if the reason I have this mentality is because of my Eastern European roots. They came here in this country with nothing and they had to work their way up. But the thing is, I was always told that if you work hard, if you do all the right things, and if you study hard and all that stuff, you're going to get exactly what you want. But it's so hard, especially when you're really early in your career or you're early into your entrepreneurial development, to kind of envision what it is down the line. So you can be really smart and you can be really capable and you can be really hardworking. But the thing is, like, if you don't have the right formula to sort of apply yourself in the right way to your life, then that's all kind of useless, which is kind of hilarious. So how did I go from doing everything kind of on my own to finding the right allies in my life to elevate me and get me to where I am today, and who are continuously helping me grow? I'm going to kind of rewind a little bit and just say that, in college or in your early days, or you know what, even for a lot of people halfway into their career, like when you're at a stable job for 5 years, you don't feel the need to network. And this is the wrong mentality. Maybe not the wrong mentality, but this is not the most beneficial mentality. You should always be nurturing relationships and building relationships with people of interest, anyone that seems cool or, maybe knows something that you would like to know. I didn't do this for a long time, and I kind of started more heavily networking, I think, around my mid-20s, and I've only really gotten good at it now, you know, in my late 20s. And there's still so much I'm still in complete admiration of super networkers like my mentor who can just be like, okay, I know this person, I know this other person, instantly connect them. So, how did I get to essentially having the right allies in my life? And let me tell you, I kind of didn't even really know that I was going and finding allies at the time. I think kind of it all started when I was working in IT and I was just going to networking events because I was young and I wanted to make commission for the company I was working at, even though I had no idea how to sell that product. And the cool thing that happened is, and it might not happen like this for everybody else, but I think I've always had a really strong personality, which stood out in a crowd. And so as I was going to these networking events, I was just kind of connecting to people and having a good time and laughing and joking. I would also kind of have a unique look for me, short hair, I would have like some kind of fun outfit on. So I was kind of always a memorable person in a group. And this is how I sort of founded my early relationships. And I think one of my early mentors, actually, I just remembered even a mentor before that. I was in college and I wanted to get out into the real world. And I was really into electronic dance music. And I would get invited to these events all the time. And then for some reason, I like scroll down to the bottom of an email and it said something about like contact or looking to help or something like that, volunteer. And I was just like, okay, I'm like gonna message this person. And then I ended up learning how to venue broker and book DJs and throw special events and do email marketing and social media marketing just from looking at the footer of that email and reaching out. And that's like not even in person. That's just like, hey, I like what you're doing. I think it's cool. Like, how can we collaborate? Let me tell you a secret though. 99% of business is strangely done that way, or 99% of relationships are just built that way. Hey, I think you're doing something cool. I like it. How can we collab? This is what I do. But back to kind of the ally story. For me, it's just so important because all my side quests and big milestones in my life have been triggered by my allies and mentors. And, these people don't always have to be, business professional people. They can be my mom is a huge mentor and like even more than a mentor, just an incredible ally. She is constantly supporting me. She is always there when I'm down and she's always there when I'm up and she's just my ultimate cheerleader. Like having someone like that in your life is also so important and it's going to keep you pushing forward. And, even you doing that for somebody else makes you an ally in your life. Maybe you don't have to go leaps over the and bounds over the moon, but just going there and supporting them is super important. But for me, it just really happened to be these sort of professional people. At one of my first networking events, I meet the CEO of this AI company. And this is a long time ago, before ChatGPT, la la la. And he was kind of building something similar where you teach about how to be you and it goes and works for you and makes you money. Sounds familiar, right? He was a cool guy at the time. This was 7 years ago. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time. This was 7 years ago. And I was like, this guy is crazy. And we vibed, we kept in touch. And then all of a sudden, fast forward 6 months, and I'm the executive for his company. I'm the chief growth officer. I have no idea about AI and blockchain, but he believed in me. He saw my spark. I guess my gift is I have the gift of gab. I go into a place, I light it up, I'm chit chatting and all that stuff. And he believed in me, which gave me so much confidence in myself and I didn't know exactly what it was that I'm doing. And you'll find out that a lot of business professionals don't know exactly what it is that they're doing. It's kind of a fake it till you make it thing. But because he believed in me, I stepped up to the plate and I showed up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do all these things. And I knocked it out of the park. Funny enough, because of that relationship, I meet my executive development coach, who she was our executive development coach at this company. And 2 years after I ended up leaving, I was really sick. I had a lot going on and This was actually my second job in addition to my day job. And so I met this amazing executive development coach who became my sort of rock and my lifeline through one of the most difficult periods of my life where I was stalked and attacked by my neighbor, and the stalking went on for about almost a year. I think it was like from the start of the pandemic to about the beginning of the following year until it culminated to a final attack. And this was really, really difficult for me in so many ways. I didn't tell a lot of people what was wrong with me. I didn't tell anyone that I was being stalked and harassed, and and this is my neighbor, like the wall next door. And for me at this point in time, like I really needed that morale boost. I really needed someone, really needed my tribe, my team, my co-op to help me get through that experience because it was the lowest of my low. And Coach Kristen Taylor, my executive development coach, bless her, was like my lifeline. She was on call whenever I'd have a breakdown, I would get attacked or anything like that. And she was always there for me. And just having really good family and really good friends. And, it's funny because when you go through those experiences, you realize who your friends are, who's understanding and who's like making fun of you or like, oh, it's just your neighbor or whatever. You realize who your real tribe is going through those experiences. Fast forward, after that whole kind of horrific saga had ended, I had told Kristen, and we kind of came back to what I was working at when I was working at the startup, where I was like, I wanted to be a public speaker. Kristen's like, hey, I don't know if I can help you with this, but I know this guy, Paul Berry, who I met 2 years ago, who became my mentor. And I mean, he's my big fat official mentor. I wanted to do a TEDx. He's done a TEDx. We collaborated. I always wanted to throw events, and we started throwing events and networking events, and we were planning retreats. So it's kind of cool. I got to meet this person who is like so high energy. We're so on the same path. And he was so invested in me developing my personal skills and my mindset that, I just grew 10x. And this whole gamification concept was sort of founded in the process of writing my, TEDx speech. I never performed it. I mean, I performed a version of this to a crowd, but I never had like pitched it to TED or anything like that. Him taking the time and investing that time in me and believing in me. And like we were also, it was collaborative, right? Like I scratched his back, he scratched mine. I was supporting him with all of his sort of ventures, and he was supporting me with my psychology, my personal brand, providing unwavering belief in me. And the reason I'm really bringing up allies is because right now I'm in such a pivotal phase in my life where I'm going out on my own. I'm leaving my 9 to 5. And these are things that I've been talking about for such a long time. And the thing is, like, I have Paul Berry, my mentor, who is so gung ho and so supportive of me. I have my mom who's super supportive of me and is like, I believe in you. This is what you've been meant to do all along. And these allies are supporting me in my avatar in pursuit of my ultimate mission, which is creating a chain reaction of goodness in the world, right? It's alleviating suffer, creating joy, and all of those things. So I'm able, with the support of my allies, to kind of just blossom and spread my wings. And it's not just them, it's my best friend who's always there supporting me, lifting me up, telling me I can do everything. It's my partner who's like, if this is the decision you want to make, I have your back. You can do this. I believe in you no matter what. They're also someone that I lean on when I'm having a hard time, when I don't know the answers, when I'm having a down day. These are people you can go to that can provide you guidance, that provide you love, that provide you support. And this is all in support of your ultimate mission. And the thing is, it's okay to ask for help. It took me a really, really long time. And really, after the attack is when I really started learning to ask for help. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm stuck here. Can you help me figure this out? Can you help me figure out some pricing for a client? Funny story. Just back in December, I had threw a little party and a family friend connected me. I wanted to have a DJ play, and a family friend connected to me to this amazing person, Ash Maher, who was just like, okay, I'm gonna DJ for your party. I'll do it for free. Just like shout me out. I ended up DJing. We connected. We became really, really good friends. I just loved his energy. He was so positive, constantly radiating. And then we followed each other on Instagram. And I was like, hey, I see that you're doing marketing. Like, let's chat. Maybe there's a collab or anything. Like, I didn't know that just made us have more things in common. I do marketing. He does marketing. I love electronic music. He's a DJ. We both had fun at my party. And so I reaching out to him and we just sort of forming this relationship. And he starts talking about like marketing. I kind of start talking about marketing and how we're like sort of complementary. Anyways, nothing major, but we're maintaining that relationship throughout time. And a byproduct of that became we just had a catch up. And the thing is, sometimes with your allies, sometimes people don't catch up with you. You have to go catch up with them. And you have to kind of put your pride away and just be like, okay, hey, this person is cool. I want to connect with them and reach out. That is totally okay. Most people are just like so busy with their lives and they're just happy to hang out and be like, hey, I want to see you too. Let's prioritize this time. So Ash and I were catching up a few months ago and he was telling me about this cool project he's working on, or Awaken Radio Club. He's building a DJ community. I was like, that's so cool. I'm doing this for a client. He's like, oh, can you do that for me? Can you help me with my personal brand? And it's just like, this is how the universe provides, is that all my allies are showing up to me right now. I'm going through this shift where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out on my own. I didn't really have a plan in place. I'm just shifting. I'm just making that big decision. I'm having support from my mentor. I'm having support from my mom. I'm having support from my friends and my family. And then I have Ash saying like, hey, I want to work with you. And all just because we nurtured this beautiful relationship. And so now I'm leaving my 9 to 5 and I already have an awesome opportunity lined up for me collaborating with not only this incredible human being, but a friend and a partner. So I'm so excited to see what we can do. And so your allies are important. My friend Rashid, he called them destiny helpers. I love that word. They're critical for you to go on your journey. And again, it doesn't have to just be business. It's like having someone to just collapse to, having someone that's just there gassing you up. You can do it. I believe in you. You got this. That is so important. Having these players in your life and everybody serves a function. And all of these people are there in support of your ultimate mission. And I want to even like highlight something else. If you guys listened to my episode last week with Chandler Quinton, like I didn't have a long established relationship with him. We were strangers. We connected on LinkedIn. I liked his content that he was creating with Video Brothers, funny B2B ads. And we just kind of were like kindred spirits. I reached out. I was like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? He said, hell yeah. And now I have this awesome opportunity with him. So sometimes like you have people that you see, like I could choose to never reach out or like to never build that relationship on LinkedIn. And then he would just be an NPC that was just a non-playable character, right? He would just be someone out there in the world. But because I decided to make that contact, and actually he decided to make a lot of contact with me, we were able to form a relationship. And not only it's going to be this podcast episode that we published today or last week, it's going to be something else in the future, or just a really cool friend or another mentor to have in my life. And so this is how allies can work for you. And everybody has allies, okay? Steve Jobs had an ally. Zuckerberg had Steve Jobs as his mentor as well. Oprah had an ally or a mentor. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, they all have mentors and allies on their side supporting them. Everybody who's great, who's worth their salt has an ally and mentor. Simon Sinek, Brene Brown, Napoleon Hill, Jay Shetty, they all had their mentors. Jay Shetty went to an ashram in India and he spent, I think, a few years or a few summers there to develop sort of the mindset that he has right now. So nobody does it all on their own. There's always somebody else supporting them. And most likely it's a team of people. Everybody has a partner, a friend, a mentor, which is helping stretch your mind further than you could ever stretch yourself. So please, please don't be afraid to ask for what you want from people. Just reach out. It's like, hey, you're cool. I want to collaborate in this way. Or friends. My best friend, Rima, I met her in sort of a similar way. Like we met at a networking event. We looked at each other and said, oh my God, you're cool. Let's keep in touch. We were together side by side the entire networking event. We didn't really talk much, but then I got her number and I was like, oh my God, I really like this girl. She's so cool. I have to hit her up afterwards. I have to send her a text because I think she's going to be one of my best friends, or she's really cool. I don't know. I have to keep in touch with her. And I texted her and our schedules didn't line up at first. And then finally, when we finally had our first hangout, it was like stuck together like glue, inseparable. So this is how the universe works. It's a two-way system. Leverage your allies, find your mentors, nurture relationships, nurture your network, build friendships, nurture your partner, because these allies, this is the cooperative that we're all living in. We're not in single player mode. We're humans. And even the strongest, most powerful person in your mind, they had a team of allies by their side. We had the Knights of the Round Table, the Founding Fathers, right? This is all a group of people. They had each other, all these communities. Find your allies, find your circle. That's going to help you grow. And make sure those people are people who believe in you, who want you to be the best version of you, not people who bring you down. Those are not the people who belong in your circle. Those are not your allies. You need to be in communities and surround yourself with people who see you, who appreciate you, and who lift you up, not bring you down. So, my friends, go out there, find your allies, so you guys can go on some epic quests together, and so you can achieve your mission much faster than just by yourself. Ready? Let's play.